Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here, Midwest Market Management. I've got Riley Sykard on with me here today. It is Thursday, October 30th. No shortage of volatility in the bean market today. You know, Riley, we got fresh news out on the trade war front. We got about a 40-cent trading range in soybeans here today. Picture, quite frankly, isn't any clearer today than it was before. On a weather note, probably one of the biggest things that I see is not so much the weather as it is the absolute lack of focus on weather in a massive continent that produces, the lion majority of the soybeans for the world, and nobody cares or seems to be paying attention just because all the hype and is surrounding and the trade war and how many bushels can we move to China.
Yeah, not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer, but eventually that focus is going to shift. And so far, there's not a whole lot for bulls to get excited about when we're looking at these South America maps. Clint, you and I talked about that a little bit on Tuesday. Um,
Sure.
it's it looks really good.
Well, let's
Every,
dive in, see what we're looking at.
sounds good. First thing I'm started doing this year, and I really think something we got to continue to do is show areas to watch, especially in Brazil. First crop corn, we're looking down in the southern region of Brazil, and first crop beans, you're looking heavily here to the north. So that's what we're really focusing on right now. A lot of beans are happening here right now, where a lot of the corn will be in the south for first crop. And beans still heavy to the south as well, but a lot of the corn in Mato Grosso and Goiás, that's grown during the Safrinha time frame. So if you go back to that map, it shows 37% of corn is in Mato Grosso. Only about 1% of that's getting planted right now. So that's really heavily bean focused there to the north. Then putting into perspective how big of an area I just glossed over is, put Mato Grosso on the US map, almost the whole Midwest. So huge area we're talking about here. And this is just Brazil, not even Argentina. So let's hop into the actual weather maps here, starting out with temperatures. And similar to the Tuesday story, not really enough heat to be stressing out any crops right now. Highs to the north in the 90s, central Brazil in the 80s, south in the 70s. Down to the south, they could use a little bit more heat to help dry them out. Southern Brazil's had a lot of rain over the last month, but certainly not something that is worth putting a lot of focus on right now. 1 to 5 day in Argentina, a decent amount of heat, nothing really concerning there. 6 to 10, I'm going to gloss over because it's almost identical to the 1 to 5. Enough heat to keep crops going, but not enough to cause stress. So looking at the last 2 weeks of rainfall, areas in southern Brazil, especially looking right here at Mato Grosso do Sul, really heavy rains. There are talks of some replant going on down there. So we have to keep an eye on that southern Brazil area. But here to the north, where they really need rain, we can see over the last 2 weeks, Mato Grosso's had areas with 3 to 4 inches. So Clint, you and I mentioned that this spring when everybody was getting really heavy rains and a lot of guys were getting bullish. If somebody's getting a ton of rain, there's also somebody not far away that's getting exactly what they needed. So in terms of national yield for Brazil, I would say very high potential is still there with all the rainfall coming. One other thing to note, Argentina right here in the northeast corner got absolutely dumped on here over this last weekend. Still plenty of time this early in the year for replant, so I'm not going to say that it's a disaster yet. So not really a big difference being made yet. So looking ahead, 1 to 5 day shows a little bit more rain in the forecast for these center west areas of Brazil that need it. And then down to the south, there will be some areas that are getting too much rain. But once again, they can soak up rain so fast down there. They're traditionally dry. Drought
And
is a big
warm.
thing that affects them. Too much rain in the past has not been an issue. So Looking at the 1 to 5, Argentina is actually really dry, which is exactly what they were hoping to see. Some areas in Cordoba getting some rain, but not much. 6 to 10 day rain continuing to stay in the forecast. So this wet pattern is a trend that looks to continue at least for the next 2 weeks here. And going beyond that, we'll have to see if it's a trend that continues or if weather models start showing a buck in the system. But right now, plenty of rain in the forecast. Temperatures are set to the ideal. You look at the 2 week when you combine everything together, a lot more yellow in that forecast than Brazil normally gets during this time of year. So off to a start with plenty of rainfall. Argentina, very similar story. We'll have to see if it's a trend that continues. So that's all I have today, Clint, because I know I kind of glossed over it pretty quick, but there's not really a trouble area right now down in Brazil or Argentina, other than that southern region could use some drying, but for the most part, off to a good start. And once headlines are focused again more on weather, I think there could be some bears that come into the market more than the bulls. So
10-4, Riley. Well, I appreciate you putting the maps together again. Clint McLaughlin, Riley Sykard, Midwest Market Management. Check us out on our website, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.